Hey folks, AJ the CEO here, and I am first off thankful that for the third year in a row, Prince George High School has asked me and my company to handle the live streaming and the recording of their graduation. So, since we're in the middle of a football field, I've actually used a nano station by Ubiquiti to send the internet from the football field house to the field so that we have an internet connection to live stream. I gave that away and donated that to my church. So we got a new one that actually came in yesterday. This is the LiteBeam 5AC. I already have one upstairs, but let's go ahead and open this up, go through the whole setup and what scenarios you could use this for to send internet to a distance of, I think last one was up to 5 miles. I don't know what the rating is, but let's go ahead, open it up, set it up, and show you what comes along with it. All right, so we got this. These were actually pretty cheap. They were around like $75 for each one. The original ones I used to use were 50, but I think they're discontinued. I haven't been able to find them because if it was, I would have just got those. But hey, this is an opportunity to test out some new gear. So I ordered this directly from Ubiquiti, UI.com. Link is down below. They are on Amazon, but realize, especially with Ubiquiti stuff, the sellers upsell them. So you're going to be paying way more than what you would originally be paying if you went directly to Amazon. But I'll have a link down below. All right, so we have a little mount here in the bottom here. It is waterproof, so this can sit outside. So the connection, your Ethernet connection will go in here, runs through this rubber grommet and seals it up. That's the bottom here. We have a clamp here that's going to go on the back, and we're going to assemble all of this. This is a pole mount, so it'll go right there and snap on, and then this slides on here to keep it in place. My hands get out the way like this. We got some mounting stuff here, bolts and things to tighten up everything. Let's go ahead and put those on the table. Now this is powered over PoE. So we have a PoE plug. I'm gonna see if my PoE that's here can actually work. I have this set up upstairs to where I can test it because there's not enough room for me to test this and set it up. But anyway, we got some screws here. The actual antenna, and this thing is really, really, really light. This here. Here is the pole clamp right there. And we have a small PoE injector. Here is a 24 volt. I am not sure. I don't know. I'm gonna actually hook it up to my PoE switch that's under the table to see if that will work. All right, then under here, we got a little QR code to give us the instructions on setting everything up. And then we have the antenna and dish. Now this thing is a lot bigger than the original one that I had. And I'm hoping, and I'll have it, they actually have it set up to where when this is hooked up, if you don't put the reflector dishes, it will actually bounce back and shoot a connection behind in this direction. I'm not going to set it up for that. I mean, I could, but these reflector dishes are going to help direct where the signal goes. So let's go ahead and open this up. So you have a centerpiece, and then you have two little wings that go on either side. Here. All right. So there's the centerpiece. And then you can put these on either side. It doesn't really matter. So let's go ahead. Now they do slide in place, if you can see that. So it doesn't matter. It's not a right or a left. Just line it up here and slide it down. All right, so it's locked in place. Do the same thing with the other side. And there you go. Now they do have some screws in here that we're going to lock down. Now, I'm telling you right now, it says not to do this, so please, this is a bad example, but this is the easiest way for me to do this, to record it so you can see it. So here is the clamp. This actually gave me some issues setting up because we got to align it. It's only one way it can go. Here you see right there. We're going to align it here. And these two little adapters are going to click in. And if we flip it over, you see it's going to line up. And I had to put a lot of pressure on it. Don't push it down like this because then you will bend the antennas and the reflectors and all that other good stuff. So let me see how I can get me here. That's one. There we go. All right, so we're all locked in place. As you can see, these clamps are holding it in place. Boom. Next thing we're going to do is take the array here, and we're just going to line it up. There's only one way it can go. Snaps in. If we need to undo it, there's a little piece right here that we can push up. Slides right out. Really easy. Now on the bottom here, you have a power LED, you have a traffic, and then there is your RJ45, your network connection, and then there's a reset button right there, if y'all can see that. So let's go ahead and connect that. And like I said, that's how the Ethernet would go in this way. Now I have an Ethernet cable here. I'm gonna see, will I get an actual connection here? When I make some other cables, I'm actually going to make it permanent in here. So I'll have one that's already fed through here because it's easier to run the cable through here first, then terminate it, and there'll be a seal on here. But let's see, we'll plug it in. And do we get anything? Nothing is powering on. So I think my PoE switch is not sending enough power to this. That is fine. So what we're going to do is still use this connection because this is going to send a network to our PoE. So I'm going to plug that into my LAN connection right here. And let's plug this into my switch, my outlet that I have on the other end of the table. And we have another Ethernet cable. Oh, see, I'm using the tracking camera to follow me. I went too far. So I have another cable here. So let's connect this there. Then we give it power. Yeah, and there we go. I don't know if you can see that, but it's lit up now. We have traffic and all this other good stuff. Now, let me actually unhook this because I need to hook up everything else first. And that's tight. All right, let's finish setting up everything. So we have our clamp right here. Now, it has some little spaces right here to the side. So we're going to slide that on right here. And then it'll snap in place like that. So this is going to allow you to, when it's hooked up, to give it a certain position and everything like that. So while we got this, be very careful how I set that. I'm going to use one of these with this bolt, slide that in there to keep it in place. This is going to slide through this piece here, the pivoting spot, and it comes in on the other side. And then we're going to use the small little bolt that comes out. I don't know why they wrapped this in plastic. But anyway, we got that there. And then we just got to align it here. And then screw this until it holds tight. All right, felt like it wasn't gripping, but there you go. So now we would tighten this when we get our angle. There is a level on the back here. So you want to give it, a good line of sight so where it's pointing to where it's at. So we'll just place it right there. And I'm going to try and mount this to this arm here for right now. And then the next piece we have is the mounting. And do I have a Phillips head? Yes, I do. Good reason to have a whole bunch of tools here. So let's go ahead and loosen this up completely. And it just ratchets on here. Ratchets, whatever, screws on here. All right, so it's unloose. We're just gonna slide this through here. And then just put it right back. Well, actually put it on whatever you're gonna connect it to. So like I said, I'm gonna put it on here. I'll slide that into place. Now, when I've done this before, I've actually hooked this up to my tripod, so that it's something I was going to have anyway on the field. So I have one tripod or pole, it doesn't matter. I mean, I had the tripod because I had them left over, so it was easy for me to use. I just used that and I clamped this on a tripod, and I'll show you what it looks like upstairs. But I just needed something stationary, and since the tripod has 3 feet, it will hold it really steady. I have it at a window pointing from the field house to where I am going to be on the field set up. And again, this is provided a very good connection so that I could live stream and the HDMI out. I'm actually gonna, now that I think about it, I need to bring an A10 Mini Extreme with me instead, because we had people that were in an overflow and they hooked up a monitor so everybody could see. So we had the HDMI out from that feeding the overflow. So I want to be careful how I'm tightening this. Let's see. Because I don't want to pinch my cables. All right, that should be good enough. All right, so we got this here. Now we have another bolt that goes on here. And this is actually going to be in reverse. This little bolt will slide in. I mean, the nut will slide into there. And again, they got this wrapped in plastic. And this is what's going to keep this anchored together in here. So slide that in right there. And then this other side right there. So all we're going to do now is just slide this on here. Hopefully I'm out of the way of this. Maybe I should have slid it up a little bit more. All right, so it just clamps on like that. And then we would tighten this down. Now, this is not, obviously not an ideal position right now, but I just need to give an idea. So this is where we would adjust this screw here and angle it up and all this other good stuff. So let's go ahead and connect this now. And all right, I'm moving around. We got a connection. We have it lit up. So now let's go over to the computer and let's go through. Actually, I'm not going to do this through the computer. Let's go ahead and hook up my phone. That way we can actually see using the UISP application to get all of this set up. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and go to the App Store. And my apologies, I think I said UISP. That's not what I meant. It's the UISP app. So let's go here, and that's UISP. And there it is for here. So let's go ahead and install that real quick. All right, let's go ahead and open up. We're going to agree to our settings. We're going to allow it. Yes, we're going to allow it. And we're going to do a new device setup. So let's go here. And as you can see, it actually picked it up already. All right, let's do a setup here. All right, so I was having an issue with the app detecting this. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the QR code that is on the back of this little piece. So here in the app, we're gonna go ahead and go to our QR code. Let's go ahead and scan it. All right, so it's gonna ask to join. Let me plug everything back in so at least I can get some type of connection here. Now we're gonna join this. All right, so it is asking for me to change some stuff here. So let's go to our settings here, and we need to connect to that Wi-Fi. There it is. That was strange. I don't know why that took so long. All right, so we're connected. Let's go back here. Let's connect and try this again. Awesome. So now we need to create an access point, and we can give it a name. I'm going to change this anyway. So this is actually going to be my source. So actually, let's just do it now. I'll make it simple. LiteBeam TX for transmitter. And I want it to be a bridge, so it's not going to be handing out new IP addresses. It's actually going to be just using the IP of whatever, I mean, the range of the DHCP server to assign IPs on the other end. It's not its own thing. So if, like when I'll show it upstairs when I do this, it's going to be just like the same thing. Just like when I use this at church, the Viola house, it's sending as if I ran an Ethernet cable connected to two buildings. That's the bridge. So that is fine. We'll do done, finishing setting this up. And once this is set up, I am actually going to relocate this upstairs. But the way I have this set up is this is going to be broadcasting. It's going to be connected to the school's internet, not doing new IP addresses. Actually, now I think, yeah, I'm not going to do new IP addresses. So this is actually going to send it directly to me on the field. But on the field, this is going to provide internet IP address to my travel router. So my ATEM, my other devices that are behind this are on its own separate network. All right, so it gave me some settings here, which I have blurred out. We got our network name and all this other stuff. So I'm gonna have to use this when we go upstairs. But hopefully, setting this up with the app upstairs, I won't have to do all of this. It'll just pick it up. All right, so the setup is done. So remote is disconnected. Nothing is going to it. We got an IP address from my router down here, and everything is good. All right, so now if we went through configuration, this is where you can change the SSID, change the password, the channel width, all this other settings under advanced. You can do some other stuff. What country are you in? Let's go into network. This is where you can change the settings if you want to use the VLAN. Change it to anything other than, you can give it its own IP address, give it a static one, so it's always the same. That's how I have this set up at church. It's always the same since that's not moving. Then system, this is where we can change the name, username, all this other good stuff, our time zone. And actually, we're in America. And then let's find, I've never seen Richmond on here. So I typically just do New York. And we are good to go. Let's save. Save change without testing because I don't need to test it. I mean, all I did was change the time zone. And I'm sorry if I'm like sweating a lot because it's a lot of equipment here. And then for whatever reason, my AC is not blowing the way I wish it would. All right, so we got these settings. Now, once this is done, I'm going to relocate this upstairs and we're going to set this up with the other one so that we can actually have these now talking to each other. Alrighty, so you're going to see my messy kitchen here with the Lego DeLorean and our Batman motorcycle. But anyway, I got this one set up here. It's already been set up. I have it looped into a mini 5-port switch with the ATEM connected. So that is what's causing the internet connection there, looped up to here. And this is exactly how I have it set up at when I'm in the field. I actually have a travel router that gives an IP address. So that would come from here into the travel router, and then that's what give IPs to here and everything. But everything is the same. So this is my ATEM Mini Pro ISO, which I take with me on the field. And then the other one is right there. Again, this is the furthest distance I had available here. This is connected to my other switch right here beside the PlayStation and gives me everything, a connection up here. But with all this being said, now let's go downstairs, and if everything is working, because this is the only way this is connected, we should be able to see this on the computer, because then we'll know that it's getting an internet connection. And I'll show you what it looks like on the app too. Look at that little girl. She's so beautiful. Alrighty, so we're here on the desktop now, and I'm connected to my UniFi UDM Pro. So you can see there is the IP address there for the one of the units, and then there's the other one. This is the second one that I set up, the receiver, and this is the transmitter. I can just tell because I remember the last part of the MAC address, and it was the last one that I set up. So now that we got this here, let's go ahead and open up our ATEM Connect software, because I'm actually using the ATEM right now. So we should see 2 ATEMs if we're getting a connection. And boom, there you go. There's number 1. And there's number 2 with our network connection. So again, it's beaming the internet from from the transmitter dish, the LiteBeam, I probably should call it the right name, from the LiteBeam to the receiving LiteBeam, and it's giving a bridge so it looks like it's the exact same thing. So I can come up here, switch to it, and there, I'm here controlling it. You see it, ATEM Mini Pro ISO. There. So really straightforward. And again, I'll show the specs of how far it can go. But again, I might do a follow-up when I'm actually setting up for the graduation. When I do this, we've done it 2 years before, and this is the 3rd year, but really excited about doing this. And, that's pretty much it. Now, where would I think about using this? So again, I have a good example because that's what we're using right now, the Viola House. It's about maybe 500 feet between the main building of the church and the Viola House. And could we have ran the cable up under the ground? Yeah, but then you would have had to hire everybody. We could have pulled our own cable and dug a trench. I've done that before for a friend. Me and my friend Ron, we did that when we had to dig a trench to run cable from the street to the house when Comcast wouldn't install internet like that, so we just ran it ourselves. But a coax cable, that is. We could have done that. That would have been tiring, but this could send it over the air. Now, again, my other scenario of what I'm actually using this for is going to be for sending internet to the football field because they don't have any internet access for doing some type of functions like this, streaming there and a bunch of other places. What are some good places? If I've seen, it's a guy in the UK. I might tag his video if I can find it, but he actually uses these and sells internet to people in his neighborhood. He has a big business class license of internet coming to his house, and then he's the ISP for people in his area. And that works great, and he uses this. These devices are actually for their WISP, and I think that's when I was pronouncing it wrong. UniFi Ubiquiti has a product line that allows you to host your own type of stuff. Like if you happen to be in a RV park, you can set up something like this. If you want to provide internet outside, that could work the same way as well too. Because you saw on my phone, I was able to pick it up as just like it was Wi-Fi there, and it's rated for outdoors. But let me show you what the app looks like, and then we'll close this video out. All right, so as you can see here on the app, we have both devices. That's the transmitter, that's the receiver. And if we go to our receiver here, so we can see our speeds. It has a great signal. I mean, granted, we are close. Um, I really wanted to test this outside, but I don't have a place to do that right now. Maybe if I did it at the church. But anyway, we can see what our speeds are, our upload speeds, and everything like that, which is really good. That's our throughput, our capacity. So that's more than enough for live streaming. Most of the live streaming, I go get with 10 up and 10 down. This is going to be more than enough, and it's plenty fast, especially at the school, since we're going to be tying into their stuff. So if we back out, let's go to the transmitter. And again, same thing. Gives us more detail, our signal details. You could change the power and all the stuff. I like to keep it on automatic because, I mean, we're good. And that's about it. All right, so I hope that helped. Really like this stuff. Again, this was me paid for this on my own money. This is my own product because I've used it before for my business for doing this graduation, as well as if we get back into streaming sports and stuff like that. I guess schools are kind of happy about having people come to the stadium, but just like with churches, hey, it's nothing the matter with live streaming as well. There's some people that watch games and sports that are not in the state, in the city. But anyway, this is what we're using outside. Let me know how you would use this. Again, another scenario of this, say that you are actually want to do some stuff outside with your ministry and you still want to live stream it. You could just have this set up, have it permanently fixed to the outside of the building and provide internet to a location. You would just put the receiver like on a pole and you just take it out there, provide power to it, and boom, there you go. And that can give you internet. And you have like just like me, you take this A10 Mini Pro, the small setup, one camera outside, and you have the same functionality of everything else. But let me know how you would use this, and or if you have one of these, how do you use it? Love to see how people are using this stuff. Love this tech and how you can now take all that nice stuff that you got, take it outside and greet with the people, have some service outside, or just, say you have an event, a carnival or something like that with your church, a fundraiser or whatever. You can live stream it if you want to. So anyway, if you like, the link is down below. I'm getting ready to shut the thing down, but link is down below if you're interested in getting one of these. I give you the Ubiquiti one and the Amazon one. The Amazon one is an affiliate link. I don't have an affiliate link with Unified. Just want to be fair and just show y'all with that. So if you like this type of content, appreciate a like, consider subscribing, hit that bell. That way you get notified when we come out with other videos to help modernize your media ministry. Thanks for watching, folks. This is AJ. Catch you on the next video. Later.